Our 3 Cents is a podcast series where myself and two of my very best gaming chums have been counting down our top 100 favourite video games of all time. Our lists are as eclectic as they come, but there are of course some games that will inevitably feature on all three of our lists. When this glorious moment of unification happens, we will produce one of these videos where we combine all three of our contributions from the podcast for a game that has officially been our 3 Cents approved. Starting this week, we have Minty.
Oh, it's me.
Minty.
Minty, can you please tell us about your 63rd favourite video game?
Minty.
Sometimes a game moves you. There's one game that has moved me to tears in my entire life. Sometimes a game brings something profound to the table. There's one game that I've been thinking about for weeks after I've played it. Sometimes games bring things that you've never seen before to the table that sets them apart from all of their competitors and leaves them in a field of exactly one. Sometimes a game is just good fun, robustly made and satisfying in the same way that chopping down a tree is or shooting an elk with a bow. This is one of the latter. It's a game for the Wii U. I know what you're thinking. Very charitable of me. I remember very distinctly playing it on our big TV in the lounge when John and I lived together and thinking to myself, how on earth were we happy before HD? Gorgeous game, packed with content and replayability, bolstered by some fairly left field DLC that almost eclipsed the vanilla game. It's Mario Kart 8.
Hey!
Oh boy.
Solid racing game. Solid racing game and then some.
Oh,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
It's just a really safe bet if you want to have a good time, you know? You got friends coming over? Great. Race or battle each other. Are you alone? Great. Race or battle the CPU. Are you crap at Mario Kart? Great. Play it on 50cc. Not enough bullshit in your life? Great. Play it on 200cc. You want unlockables? Great. Win a race and get a new car. Then win it again and unlock someone new to drive it. And the level of variety and creativity that is on offer. Good heavens. Even the remakes of the old tracks don't leave you feeling shortchanged because, like we said, they're in HD now. Moo Moo Meadows.
Oh my god.
You look at the comparison.
That is literally the greatest remake in video game history.
Yeah.
Oh my... I mean, never has a video game series stepped it up so much.
The latest in a series that's gone from strength to strength since the very beginning.
I think it went from strength to weakness and back to strength, though, because, as we all know, Mario Kart 64 is a load of bunk.
Jonathan. This is your first warning.
I was actually going to write that in, but I played Super Mario Kart on SNES Online, and my wife got very upset with me. She said, what are these sounds you're making? Because it's just a looped ditty and some beeps.
The music in Mario Kart 8 is one of the best soundtracks of all time.
It's so good.
I will go down with that on my grave. I want that written, because when they released, do you remember when it was the build-up to that game coming out, and they put out all the little videos of the full band orchestra playing this stuff?
Yeah.
Even like the menu music when you first turn on the game has a little kind of bass guitar break where the guy is playing so hard and heavy. It's like he's playing within an inch of his life, and it's unbelievable. It's absolutely fantastic, honestly.
I mean, it felt that for the first time it had the same level of polish and love and depth and respect for Nintendo's history as the Smash Brothers series was showing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Minty.
The joy from start to finish.
Starting this week, we have my game. Would you like to know what my 59th favourite video game of all time is?
I do.
I do too.
What can I say about Mario Kart 8 that Minty hasn't already said and that isn't already totally obvious? It's the best in its series, it's one of the best racing games of all time, it's one of Nintendo's finest games, and it is absolutely jam-packed with incredible content.
All obvious though.
All agreed.
Like many series, there's been new mechanics and features introduced with every entry. We had motorbikes and the ability to sort of ride up the sides in Mario Kart Wii. We had gliders introduced in Mario Kart 7. And whilst the new zero gravity functionality in Mario Kart 8 didn't really change the way you played in a huge way, because everything you did would always stay the right way up for you, it did, however, allow for some truly awe-inspiring course designs. Particular favourite of mine, the Electrodome,
Yeah.
Tasty.
which was an epileptic nightmare of a disco course, just totally hypnotic. Also, Sunshine Airport was a lovely return to the world of Super Mario Sunshine, and the feeling you get when you take flight at the same time or land at the same time a plane is flying overhead is absolutely exhilarating, and it is a fantastic example of course design that isn't necessarily just about the course itself, and it adds so much to it. It was also brilliant to see the return of classic Mario Kart tracks, see what the new twists are on them now. I mean, literally in some cases, with all the zero gravity upside down bendy wendy stuff, which was great. I loved it particularly when something quite vanilla, like just a Mario circuit, would load up looking pretty standard, pretty, dare I say, boring.
Ooh.
And then Lakitu flies around before the race starts, and all of a sudden, half of the track just rises up out of the ground.
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah.
like tilting upwards, and then it's very exciting. It made every track and every race feel like a real event. I mean, I've never been to live racing, but I imagine it feels something like that, but with less bananas, or more. I don't know. Potassium is good for focus. Less turtles, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? I have absolutely no reference point for that. Back to introvert racing. A couple of favourite tracks from previous games that featured here were Tick-Tock Clock from Mario Kart
yeah.
DS.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
And Melody Motorway from Mario Kart 7.
Spicy.
Both brilliantly reimagined, as well as the fantastically crescendoing Grumble Volcano.
I love Grumble Volcano. It's a great level.
It is great. It's so good. Also, a forgotten gem from Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance was Ribbon Road, which was brilliantly and very cleverly reskinned as a Mario vs. Donkey Kong March of the Minis themed level, which just worked. It worked perfectly.
It was a lovely level, yeah.
Very clever. Very clever. Very simple, very moving. It's always great to play on the Yoshi circuit from the GameCube, and that has been a retro track that I'm pretty sure has reappeared in every Mario Kart game since. I think it is the most solid and steadfast of all of the tracks, and it's probably the closest I'd feel to playing at home were I to play competitively. Also returning from the GameCube was the total free-for-all of Baby Park. Just 7 simple oval laps on a short course, and anyone could win at any point. It's it's just brilliant.
Absolute carnage, isn't it, Baby Park?
I mean, it was also great to see the fan favourite N64 Rainbow Road track return, although they obviously decided against having the gargantuan 10-minute long track be as long as it is in the original, and decided instead to split one lap from the original into 3 segments, like they've done with some of the new tracks from the last couple of games. And it is a very sensible move, as the original, to be honest, feels more like something out of Euro Truck Simulator,
Oi.
but without the ambient environment and real-world radio stations to
Exactly.
keep you entertained. It's a great experience, but not here, please. Not here. It's not this game. The only problem is that the improved design of the track in Mario Kart 8 now makes me genuinely want to do 3 full laps of it, and for it to go on for, 10 minutes or whatever. But there we go. So let's talk about the DLC.
Oh great, yes.
It's easy to forget that this was among Nintendo's first foray into the world of DLC, as it had typically preferred to offer, air quotes, complete games, rather than risk straying into the worrying trend of other games developers releasing half-finished games for full price and then charging players for cynical add-on content that was clearly intended to be in the game all along. But this is exactly what Nintendo do. They wait patiently, they develop diligently, and then when they do deliver, it sets a new standard for the industry.
Oh, lovely.
Stirring.
No one could argue that Mario Kart 8 wasn't a huge and satisfying game on its own, and also no one could argue against the value for money seen in the DLC. Now, whilst we all could have lived without the faster 200cc mode added in, I must say, The sheer chaos that this new speed unleashed on a race was utterly hilarious, and the carnage that ensued was verging on barbaric. Much like if a bunch of coked-up teenagers crash a children's playground, tear the place up, probably throw some fruit around, maybe some small explosives, leave a total ruin in its wake, and not recall any of it.
Friday night.
Back when I played this with my ex-partner on 200cc, she responded by saying, this is what real war must feel like.
And she's right.
Yeah, it's hell, isn't it?
But the thing people were really looking forward to in the DLC was the series branching outside of the core Mario games for the first time, with the inclusion of Link as a character,
What?
a Zelda course, an Animal Crossing course
What?
as well. And these were a wonderful addition to the game. And of course, who can forget the absolute apex of any DLC released in any video game? The Mercedes-Benz real-life car pack.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that carried on and was still in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
It's ridiculous,
I
isn't
was
it?
convinced that license would have expired and they would just binned it, but nope. Boot it up on the Switch, there's your Mercedes.
Joking aside, it was quite a fun little additional thing to have, but I mean, it just felt monumentally out of place.
It really did. It opens all sorts of questions as well in terms of, like, you know, the extended universe, as it were.
Exactly.
In the Mushroom Kingdom, you can go out and buy a Mercedes if you want. That's what this game has taught us. And equally, like in Hyrule, there's a dealership down the road.
And there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure we spoke several months ago about how branching out into neighbouring franchises could be the future of Mario Kart, because how can you possibly top the formula now after this game? They're going to need to change it up, and it is great to let your imagination run wild with what I believe we termed Super Crash Brothers.
Yeah.
You could imagine racing through Talon 4 as Samus Aran, maybe through the clouds of Dreamland as Kirby, across a condensed version of Kanto as a Charizard, over the back of a Titan as Shulk, or through a brain as Dr. Kawashima. Riding the neural pathways. I think it's absolutely to its credit that it's a game that's famously aimed at a multiplayer experience, and I can't even recall what multiplayer stuff is in the game. I mean, obviously outside of standard racing, and I've barely played any of that. So comprehensive is the single player experience, and so solid crew is its gameplay that it made me not even care about sharing that with my friends. As with most of the best Wii U games, it redefined itself as a Switch game, and I had no hesitation in double dipping for both the vanilla game and the DLC that I'd bought, and playing through everything again. And I've no intention of ever trading it in. It is Mario Kart 8.
It is, isn't it?
Lastly, but not leastly, we have Christopher Dow. Chris, can you please tell us about your 32 favourite video game?
What is left to even say about Mario Kart 8 DX that hasn't been covered by you two?
Oh, here we go.
You know,
Here we go.
this makes this the third R3 Sense approved game on our collective lists.
Yeah.
After Fantasy Life and Worms Armageddon.
Yeah.
So Mario Kart 8/DX, because they're basically the same game. But also, what else is there to say, considering you, Jonathan, have gone into vivid detail, like historical detail, on Super Circuit and Mario Kart DS as well? Like, between the two of you, you've taken down an awful lot of what Mario Kart is and why it's so good. So this is going to be a slightly different entry. When I first put Mario Kart 8 into my Wii U, I smiled when I was met with the trademark sort of title screen theme going ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba, and then immediately blown away by a slap bass break that is no more than like a few seconds in length, but it goes harder than any other track in almost any other game for just like 2.5 seconds. Like I was a gawp. My mouth was open. Mario Kart is the best kart racing series, just hands down. And Mario Kart 8 and its DX re-release on the Switch are the best version of the Mario Kart formula. And that's it really, isn't it? Like, it is just very, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, in modern games, you've got things like Crash Team Racing, got its recent kind of re-release, the Nitro Fueled edition.
Yeah.
And it was good fun, and it looked really good on the PS4 Pro, like it was, you know, high resolution, all the textures are shiny, and there's lights going off here, there and everywhere, and yet it still didn't look as good as Mario Kart 8, which is now a last gen game. The Sonic Racing series, like Team Sonic Racing, the most recent one, and Sonic Racing Transformed before it, has long included like great remixes of tracks from the games it represents, and yet that small bass break it puts the whole playlist to shame. And going forwards, like the orchestral arrangements, like the full band arrangements for everything in Mario Kart 8 is just, I think, some of the best sound work on any modern game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The track design throughout the whole game is just flawless throughout, and it mixes really well, like exhilarating tracks that are new to this game. So things like Mount Wario, Bowser's Castle, Sunshine Airport, they're all brilliant. But it includes remix versions, obviously, of old favourites, like it has done for a few entries now, like Mario Circuit, DK Jungle, Tick-Tock Clock. They all improve upon their original iterations in every conceivable way. They're tarted up in such a beautiful way that they just fit alongside these other tracks brilliantly. And most importantly, like the movement and handling in this game is as Mario Odyssey is to 3D platforming, I think. Like it's polished and it's play tested to the point that within a few races you can predict exactly how your vehicle is going to perform on every corner and over every terrain. It's just such an intuitive driving model. It's just great fun to use. And like I said, you have talked about this game. The two of you have talked about this game properly. So what I did, instead of trying to like flesh this out with waffly stuff, I just made a bullet point list of stuff that I enjoyed in Mario Kart 8. It's by no means exhaustive. I'm sure there's many other things I've forgotten, but all these things were just like sitting down for half an hour and reminding myself of the fun I had. All these memories popped up. So in no order, and like I said, not an exhaustive list, I put down that I enjoyed perfecting the final corner cutting shortcut in Sunshine Airport that lets you skim through the baggage return to save like a few milliseconds before the finish line. I enjoyed seeing both Villager and Isabelle from Animal Crossing make one of their first cross-franchise debuts as racers. I enjoyed in the DX version pulling off my first level 3 mini turbo on one of the huge turns in Mario Kart Stadium with the pink boost. I really enjoyed hearing the Mario Kart sound team's treatment of the F-Zero stages.
Yeah.
Because they took like the screaming guitar of F-Zero X and replaced it with roaring saxophone. It's just really, really nice. I still remember the first time I managed to evade a blue shell by executing like a near frame perfect mushroom boost away.
Yeah.
Playing Baby Park on 200cc and basically being able to drift the entire 7-lap race. Just insane.
So good.
I remember being able to select the Mercedes-Benz car parts in DX after being utterly convinced the license would have expired.
Yeah.
And just thinking I was so glad it was still here, like on this complete cartridge. I loved seeing the Excite Bike track remix itself subtly on each subsequent race. I really loved the HD rumble, subtly sort of communicating your engine revs and the impacts of your car against other stuff, but most incredibly how it somehow manages to convey the sound of coin collection perfectly through the rumble. That's one of the most impressive bits of tech on the Switch, like since launch.
One of the things I remember it did that really smacked my gob was when you go underwater, it felt like you were putting your Switch in a bath.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it or what it does. It's mad. So good.
Some of the other ones that I really enjoyed, the first time I took off into the sky on Cloudtop Cruise and then slaloming through the turbo boosts with the lightning strikes.
Oh yeah.
I loved seeing like some of my favourite tracks from the 3DS, like Melody Motorway, suddenly appear in full HD, like sparkling resolution.
Yeah. What's the one? Is it Moo Moo Farm?
Yeah, from the Wii originally.
Such an ugly looking track on the Wii. It's one of the most beautiful looking things I've ever seen.
It's the lighting. It's just bucolic. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I have this vivid memory of playing a 4-player race on Wario's Gold Mine, which is one of my favourite tracks. I really like that stage.
It's a great track, yeah.
And seeing my friend Kate drop to last place and then just chanting under her breath, "I want to die," like softly and rhythmically. I remember the first time I pulled off the waterfall shortcut on Yoshi Circuit using a mini turbo and not having to resort to a mushroom boost.
Oh, nice. Didn't know that was even possible.
I think you have to be on 200cc, but it still felt great. And lastly on this list, seeing tracks from the GBA like Cheeseland suddenly come alive in 3D and being able to pull off sweet boost jumps off the little like dairy divots.
Yeah.
It is an endless chest of riches. It's something else.
Ribbon Road as well was from the Game Boy
yeah.
Advance, wasn't it?
Yeah, stunning.
Fantastic.
Reimagining. Incredible.
Absolutely stunning. I mean, as a last sentence here, I do not see how this genre can be bettered.
Yeah.
And we've talked about
Super Crash Brothers.
Exactly. We've talked about that as the only logical way to take this forward. But even then, I can't see how the core can be any different than Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Because it has refined every single thing that any kart game has introduced in the last 30 years. And it's still fun. As fun as it was the day I got it on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah, a stunning achievement, both technologically and just for something to enjoy and play. It's unmatched, really.
Yeah. There have been some very, very quiet rumblings of potential further DLC for it.
I'd go for that.
I don't think it's true, but I'd happily buy another expansion pass.
Yeah, for sure.
Easily.